really like doing books. And I've done them ever since I was a graduate student, so it just becomes something that I have to produce something about every 2 years or 3 years or so. One of these extensive projects. That one's going to take me, I've already been working on it for 9 months. I have almost all the printing done. I've only bound 2 of them, just as models. I have to print the colophon yet, and then I'm going to spend the next 6 months trying to find them. With the leather cover even. Kind of crazy. But it's going to be really beautiful. But I think, if I think of my reasons why, some of it is because it's an alternative format for a printmaker. And, you know, all the efforts for finding an alternative exhibition venue and alternative spaces, that's a really great alternative space for a printmaker. It's so portable. You can take it anywhere and you set it up, it's an instant gallery, and then it collapses and it goes on. So that's really, you know, as a person committed to making prints in a fine art way, I have my little efforts towards the alternative world too. You know, even though those people won't think I'm very wild. I'm not going to be doing performance and things like that. But those are some of my reasons for doing it. And then it even subverts the whole expectation of how you handle and touch prints. There you're allowed, but it doesn't have to be behind glass and all the formal distance presentation. So I've thought about that all these years and literally trying to do these in a very visible way and going into these small spaces.
With 90%. It's not like 2 boys. So you can't see on the wood itself before you print it up? You still do
See what?
the hollow spots?
I can sort of see it here, and but now the paper moved because I took the tape off too soon. I forgot.
So the pressure makes the hollow area recess, and that's why it doesn't print, or?
I think it's just a flaw in the wood beforehand. It's just a, you know, maybe it got damaged somehow when it was made, and that hollow spot is ever there. But I got it back on register now, so it looks just fine. And some of these irregularities, I wish it were perfectly flat. Scratching it up a little bit, making it interesting. I'm not even into the interesting carving stage yet, but you know what happens with that. So now we get to do, it might take 10 hours to print a run of, the complete run of 20 impressions plus artist proofs. It would take 10 hours maybe to print all of those, and then all my colors can sit out and I don't have to worry about them changing, drying out.
So your strategy for cutting stencils is basically positive and negative space, but also just different areas?
Yeah, different areas, and as with any stencil, you can't make it too complicated.
Right.
You can't have floating islands and spirals, and that. You just carve that in the wood, carve the detail in the wood. So I'm really using the stencil just to help isolate areas, and because you have to separate it in the stencil, it ends up making me work on the whole piece at the same time. So, and yes, I'm working positive and negative, background, subject.
So when you initially, excuse me, when you initially carve the 2 plates, is it a total positive, negative?
Or not always. No. Sometimes I play with, sometimes I put positive and negative aspects on one block, and positive and negative aspects on the other block. that makes sense. This one has, this one was all mostly negative. But, you know, I could have put the circles high in relief on this block, and then I would have had background and positive. So it calls always into question, what's positive and negative? Which then, that becomes a real conceptual issue when I'm dealing with space and what's there and what's not there, and what's intangible and solid, what do we make, what do we conceive of.
Cool. Talk about
And,
thinking.
yeah, the real integration of the process with the thoughts. I've been using the term, as all of us who do reduction print, we're a creator and a destroyer. And out of something comes nothing, and you have to destroy in order to make it. Well, that's the human condition, and we all have to wrestle with that in our choices in life. So you see how I'm spinning it out, because I'm maybe listening to fresh air, talking to some wonderful scientist, or the latest issues that we all have to deal with. So now I could do several colors at once with my little rollers.
Do you ever make colors by just rolling on one color and then sort of rolling over it with a different color? Never.
Really,
Usually
not really, because it disturbs it too much. You get lots of strange roller marks. If I did it,
Oh, no, I mean just right now. I mean, like if you were like,
you mean to take this color and roll over that?
yeah.
I don't. It might disturb it, but if I wanted that change, I could just mix it in like that. And actually, that's what I was thinking. I still have a cute roller.
How did you mix that color that you're rolling right now?
This one, it actually kind of had a brownish that might have been a red base with a fire red with a little bit of black in it. Now I put a little bit, some of this blue has gotten into it by accident, and it's really transparent, so
Yeah.
too transparent. That what?
Too transparent when you try to do a second layer.
Well, it can be so transparent that it doesn't show up on the paper, and I've mixed colors like that and thought, I'll give it a try, and then you spend all this effort to print it, and it doesn't show up.
And then would you go over it again, like make it a double?
I would try to fix it here and make more pigment in it. Or if I don't, then by the time I get to the end, it's been so obscured that that subtlety has been lost, and then I have to just accept it. Okay, some of these match, some of these don't, so this gives me another opportunity for each one of these to do something a little bit different. Blend some little circles, go insides and outsides. Okay, one other thing I would explain. Isn't that pretty? When wood grain is showing, because my inking is so thin, my standard for inking is if I see the wood grain, then it's good. If it obscures the wood grain, then you've filled it in, then that's too much ink. And that's a matter of what you have on your slab and what's on your roller and what you're depositing down. So I'm always trying to ink thin to let the wood grain show up. Now, granted, I'm doing layers, and sometimes it doesn't show up later. Sometimes the first impression is the most beautiful, because that's when the wood grain is there. But then I get a little heavier and